τσάντα που είναι μπροστά.
Ποια, αυτή εδώ?
Όχι, η διπλανή.
Α, αυτή κάνει 800 δραχμές.
Και πέρα έχει 700 μόνο.
Μπορεί, αλλά δεν είναι τόσο καλή όσο αυτή.
Μην μου το λες.
Heraclean market on the island of Crete, and a woman is haggling for a leather handbag with the stallholder.
Μα είναι ακριβώς το ίδιο. Μην μου το λες αυτό το πράγμα. Θα σας δώσω 650 δραχμές.
Όχι, κάτω από 700 δεν πήγαινε.
Nothing unusual in that, you might think, but this lady is Judy Bowers from Maidstone, who's learned Greek through Linguaphone.
Όχι, δεν είναι, το βλέπεις.
Κοίταξε, 650. Αυτός εκεί πέρα μου την έδινε για 600.
Δώσε μου 650 και είναι δική σου. Και να ξέρεις.
Why did Judy decide to learn Greek?
Because I love it over here. I think it's a really wonderful country. It's actually one of my favourite holiday places, Greece. But the trouble is that when you only know words like hello and thank you and stuff like that, then you tend to be very limited to where you can go. You can only really go to sort of the touristy areas where there are loads of people who can't speak Greek, in fact, and you end up with Greek people who do speak English, so you don't even try the language. But now that I can actually speak the language, this is actually the first time that I've come back to Greece being able to speak Greek. And it's a tremendous feeling, and I've actually even got a handbag here for 150 drachmas less than the guy wanted to sell it to me for.
Judy is one of thousands of people every year who decide to learn a new language and choose Linguaphone to help them. But whereas Judy learned Greek for pleasure, John Greenfield had other reasons for learning German.
Wir werden versuchen, die Ersatzteile bis Freitag an Ihnen zu liefern. Das einzige eventuelle Problem ist dieser Streik der französischen Matrosen. Wenn die Sache diese Woche nicht erledigt ist, wird sie sich verzögern. Ja, na gut, also ich gebe den Beförderungsauftrag sofort aus. Angenehm nochmals mit Ihnen zu sprechen, Herr Meyer. Bis bald. Auf Wiederhören.
Another sale concluded. But what prompted John to learn German?
For years, we were just a two-man business producing spares for agricultural machinery. But as we got bigger in this country, we realized we were missing out on European sales. There was a huge market in Germany just sitting there, so I learned German. And obviously I've picked up a lot of the technical vocabulary by just going across there every month. But Linguaphone was the starting point, as it will be when we break into Japan. But I'll let my partner sort that one out.
Alison Hargreaves reluctantly studied French at school without appreciating how it could help her later.
Un peu plus tard. Pour l'instant, je prendrai un café.
Certainement, madame. Et je vous apporterai la carte.
Ah, merci. I learned French at school, just as a subsidiary subject. After I'd scraped the obligatory O level, that was it. I mean, it was a necessary evil, something to be forgotten as soon as possible. But when I came over here, years later, for one of those weekend breaks, I just fell in love with the place. And then I was really frustrated because I couldn't make myself understood.
So what did she do?
I looked at the alternatives, evening classes, correspondence courses, But they all seemed like going back to school again, and I was reluctant enough then.
Votre café, madame.
Merci. Oh, attendez un moment,
Oui.
Je dois vous faire un peu de place.
Merci, oui. Voilà, madame.
Merci. Linguaphone is great, because I could choose the pace I wanted to learn at the times to suit me.
Alison already had a knowledge, if only a smattering of French. But it's quite possible to start a new language from scratch and attain a reasonable fluency in about 3 months.
Do you know, I was really surprised how quickly I picked it up. I suppose because actually I really wanted to do it this time. I bought one of those Walkman things so I could listen to the tapes on the train to work or on the way to the shops. Well, that was quite funny, actually. I mean, the way people sing along with those things. Well, I was talking French out loud without even realising it. People thought I must have been a nutty French woman.
Encore un café, madame?
Oui, merci. Et peut-être un cognac.
Très bien, madame. Ça vous fera du bien.
Je l'espère.
Alan and Anne Perriman learned Spanish together as an investment in their future.
Just look at that view. And the weather's always this good.
Don't you miss England?
Yes and no. Oh, I miss the cricket. It's a pity the Spanish don't play it. They could play all year.
What did your wife say?
She was warning you that I can go on about cricket. Oh, we often speak Spanish to one another. You know, I'm even starting to think in Spanish.
So when did you first start to learn Spanish?
Oh, about 2 years before I retired. We knew we wanted to live abroad and Spain seemed ideal.
Hola.
Hola, Sánchez. ¿Cómo está?
Bien, ¿y tú? Buenos días.
Estabas muy borracho anoche, ¿no? En el taberno.
¿Y el vino de Rioja qué tal?
Muy bien. Bueno. Que mueran los feos, ¿eh?
Sí, gracias. Todo bien, gracias.
Adiós.
Hasta luego.
That's Sánchez. He helps me out with the garden.
He seems a character.
He is. I can tell you. Muy andaluz. Yes, now where was I? Oh, yes, we knew we wanted to live abroad, sun and all that sort of thing, you know. And after looking at property prices around here, we plumped for Spain. With only 2 years before we can up and move, we thought we'd better learn the language, as no one in the village speaks English.
Really?
So I sent off to Linguaphone and got stuck in.
Was it hard to learn Spanish from scratch like that?
Well, I mean, it's like most things, isn't it? You only get out what you put in. No, it wasn't that hard, and it was certainly a big help being able to make yourself understood the minute we got here.
From Spain to Italy.
Fu dipinta da Michelangelo, sdraiato sulla schiena. E un enorme sistema di impalcature fu costruito
A guide explains to tourists part of the history of the Sistine Chapel. Two of those listening are Mike and Annette Coggins.
We met studying fine art at university and did Venetian and Florentine art as a special project.
We came to Rome the first time for our honeymoon.
Yes, but when we got here, all we got was the Idiot's Guide to Italy for dumb foreigners.
It was really stupid, you know, can you go to the shops? Things like that.
Unbelievable.
When what we actually wanted was the kind of detail about art which you can only get studying Italian books. Oh, and listening to the Italian experts, of course.
Yes. So we learned Italian in our spare time. It took about, 6 months.
And how good are you now, then?
Chi dormi non piglia pesce.
What does that mean?
Well, it doesn't really translate.
You're going to have to learn Italian to find that one out.
Yes. Devo imparare.
On this short cassette, you've heard from a number of people who had their own reasons for learning a foreign language, but who all decided that Linguaphone's unique language learning system was the best method. We offer clear and precise study tapes and literature to guide you through 29 languages, from the more familiar European to the more exotic. And there's also the Linguaphone helpline, which you can ring if you get stuck and need advice. The other advantages of learning a language the Linguaphone way are set out in the pack which accompanies this cassette. Please study it in your own time, and we think you'll find
There really is no better way to learn a language.